One country, one relay, one record that no African country has ever matched before or ever since. In the year 2000, 4 Nigerian men ran the race of their lives against the greatest quarter-milers America had ever assembled. They didn't just compete, they closed the gap that shouldn't have been closable and clocked the fastest 4x400 meter relay Africa has ever produced, a time that still stands over 2 decades later. But here is what most people don't know. The race they thought they lost, they had actually won. It just took 12 years, a confession, a courtroom, and a nation's patience to prove it. This is the story of how Nigeria became the only African country in Olympic history to win gold in the men's 4x400 meter relay and the Igbo brilliance behind it. Sydney, Australia, September 30th, 2000. In Lane 4, Nigeria on the world's biggest stage, up against United States team stacked with Michael Johnson, fresh off individual gold in the 200 meter and 400 meter category, plus Antonio Pettigrew and the Harrison brothers. On paper, it wasn't close. Clement Chukwu opened the race, launching Nigeria off the lane. Jude Monye took the baton from him on the second leg, and Nigeria made a very good start with these 2 Igbo brothers laying a foundation for the beautiful race. Then, Sunday Bada, the team's captain, took the 3rd leg and dragged Nigeria into the limelight. And on the anchor, 18-year-old Enefiok Udo-Obong took the baton and did the impossible, running down Jamaica and the Bahamas in the final meters and snatched 2nd place from what looked like a lost cause. Final time, 2 minutes, 58.68 seconds, a new African record. It remains unbroken even unto this day. They closed the line, believing they had won silver. Nigeria erupted in celebration because beating the rest of the world, even for a second, felt like history. They had no idea it actually was. Behind the American celebration was a lie that would take almost a decade to unravel. In 2004, it emerged that Jerome Young, who had run for the US in the relay semi-final, had failed a drug test the year before Sydney and should never have been on that team. But in 2008, the final piece fell into place. Antonio Pettigrew confessed under oath that he had used performance-enhancing drugs supplied by coach Trevor Graham throughout that era. Nigeria head coach at Sydney, the legendary Innocent Egbunike, later reflected on the years of watching rivals surge past his athletes without explanation. In his own words, sometimes you train harder, improve your time, and still watch someone else run faster than you and wonder what you are not doing right. He and his athletes never suspected doping. They simply trusted the sport and trusted the authorities to do their part. They were right to wonder. The United States men's team was disqualified, stripped of their gold. Nigeria, the silver medalists, were now officially Olympic champions. To this day, Nigeria remains the only African nation to ever win Olympic gold in the men's 4x400 meter relay. Not Kenya, not South Africa, not a single other nation on this continent has matched it. Just 4 Nigerian men and the coach who built them, Innocent Egbunike, the architect behind this golden generation, hails from Onitsha in Anambra State. A former Olympic medalist himself, he carried the discipline of his upbringing into a coaching career that would shape Nigeria's athletics for a generation. Clement Chukwu, who launched the race, was born in Umuahia, Abia State, another son of Igbo land, raised in a region famous for producing relentless, enterprising individuals. Jude Monye, who ran the second leg, traces his roots to Onichubo in Anyocha North local government area of Delta State, the Anioma heartland. Sunday Bada, the team's captain and the third leg runner, hailed from Kogi State, and Enefiok Udo-Obong, the anchor who sealed the medal, comes from Akwa Ibom State, Ibibio heritage, another proud corner of the old Eastern region's coastline. A coach and two of his quarter-milers, all carrying Igbo blood, all forged in the discipline and hunger of the Igbo people, running shoulder to shoulder with teammates from across Nigeria to make history no African nation has matched. The upgrade to gold medal was confirmed in 2008, but it wasn't formalized and celebrated until 2013, when President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan personally presented the team with their gold medals in Abuja. For Enefiok Udo-Obong, it cemented an extraordinary legacy combined with a bronze medal from the Athens 2004 relay. It made him Nigeria's most successful Olympian of all time. It was a joyous day, but not a complete one. Sunday Bada, the captain who fought Nigeria back into the medal position on that third leg, had passed away in December 2011, months before the medal ceremony he had waited over a decade for. His widow stood in his place. Udo-Obong later said it felt like a reunion, the first time the team had truly been together again. But their captain's absence made that moment bittersweet. 4 legs, 4 states, 1 golden record that no African nation has touched since 2000. This is what happens when Igbo discipline and Olympic history collide.
Enuani just summed it up, guys. What a race. You started it off, Mason. Did you realise there was heroics?
And coming shortly, ladies and gentlemen, a little ceremony, the women's long jump.
Nigerians are strong. Chukwu to go first, Monye, Bada and Udo-Obong. Middle chance for sure.
And very psyched by the look of it.
Americans, the hottest of favourites now. Alvin Harrison to Antonio Pettigrew. Calvin Harrison and Michael Johnson. So the twins are split by Pettigrew and then Johnson. They've brought in Pettigrew and Johnson. The world record could go here.
Massive team. Well, world record could go. But the only one in track and field be fantastic.
Haven't had one here yet. The Jamaicans, I think, will get second. Blackwood to Horton, who was third behind the Americans in the 400. Williams, a 200-metre runner they've brought in, and Danny McFarlane.
Strong team. Very strong team.
Here we go. The Australians in 7, the Americans in 5. Can they get the world record? What a fitting finale it would be. So away. Jamison 2 from the top, so the poles are out well. The Australians, Harrison reasonably away, he's 4 from the left. Jamaica with Blackwood out hard. Nigeria got a good start with Chukwu. Now Harrison, well, he's gone easily early, hasn't he? The first 200 he has been very restrained, and Jamison's having a good leg in lane 7 for Australia, a very good leg. So it's Poland, Australia. Now Harrison starting to move, but he's been so conservative. The poles with Riskovich. Now Jamison struggling as Blackwood gets up alongside of him. Now watch Harrison sprinting through at the end, and sprint he does. This last 100 has been sensational. So the Americans will take the baton in front. Pettigrew gets it. The poles are up there. Jamison now gets it to Blair Young. The Aussies are back about 7th and 8th. The first split looked to be about 46.5 for the Australians, and the Americans much quicker. But Pettigrew leads. Moncur had a great leg for Bahamas as McIntosh comes through into second. Jamaica and Nigeria come across, and the Aussies are in 8th place at the moment.
The Bahamas, the Jamaicans and the Nigerians are much closer to the Americans than I thought they would be at this stage. But Pettigrew's running a great leg. The Jamaicans are coming through on the Bahamas.
Brits are back 5th, Poles are in 7th place, Australia 8th. Well, Pettigrew having a struggle, a real battle here. This is a surprise. Bahamas 2nd, Jamaica 3rd, Nigeria 4th, and then Great Britain. So the US looked to be slower than we thought. Calvin Harrison gets hold of it. In 2nd place, the Bahamas. Here go the Aussies, Patrick Dwyer. That split was pretty good, 45-2 for Blair Young. He's done his job. Dwyer goes past the Poles. They're out of screen at the moment. That's why there's a mighty roar. You can see it in the background. But it's US with Calvin Harrison, leading Bahamas with Carl Oliver, and Jamaica moving up now with Chris Williams, their 200-metre runner. But Calvin Harrison stretches the lead over Jamaica, Bahamas, and then Nigeria.
Calvin Harrison's running a totally different race to his brother Alvin. He's given it his all the way. Bahamas and the Jamaicans are still battling it out for that second position, and the Nigerians are running home very fast.
Calvin Harrison about to give it to Michael Johnson. There's an outside chance of a world record. I doubt whether he can do it. They look a second too slow, but who knows what Johnson can do. The Australians take it in 7th place. 45-9 split for our third runner, Pat Dwyer. Johnson in the back straight. He's the best of all time. We'll look up in the Bahamas as Chris Brown having a terrific leg. Again, Johnson not running that hard. He's content at the moment to bring it home. Jamaica a third and Nigeria a fourth. That's 2, 3, 4 chasing Johnson. Now Johnson goes away off the back. He leads by about 10 or 15 metres from Bahamas, Nigeria in 4th place and Jamaica a third. I don't think it'll be a world record. Johnson's away. The world record time's going to elude them, but Michael Johnson caps a glorious career with another gold medal. It's tight. Nigeria get up for second, just in front of Jamaica, and Bahamas fourth, and the Australians are coming home now in about 3:03.
What a race. The Americans were brilliant. The Americans were brilliant, but they were not as great as I thought they'd be. The Australians ran a pretty good race. They tailed off the field, but they still made the final. The Nigerians are delighted with a silver medal and ran very well to come through.
If this story moved you, hit the subscribe button, because on Enuani Cultural Forum, we tell the story of Igbo greatness, one hidden legend at a time. My name, once again, is Prince, or the name Ngozi Chukwuka Fortune, and I will see you in my subsequent videos. Bye-bye.